My son is 20. D-Champ, IS, intellectually stimulating. How are you? My son is 20. His mother moved him from my current location to another state. She passed away and my son came to live with me. And I had to kick my son, my 20-year-old son, out of my house for disrespect to a level that I cannot even explain to you. Yes, I kicked my son out of the house. I know a lot of men who will try to stay in their children's lives. But you know what the thing is? In order for a man to see his children, he has to contact, in most cases, the vindictive, hateful, mean child's mother. It is very, very difficult in 98% of the cases for men to be fathers to their children because of you, mothers. And then you raise your children to be hateful just like you. You raise your children to hate the other parent, to hate the father in 98% of the cases. Yes, you do. In most cases, the children feel my father don't love me. My father don't ever contact me. My father don't ever see me, and it's not the father's fault. The mothers need to accept accountability and responsibility for their heinous acts in these children's lives. 85% of the men in prison right now come from single mother households. 98% of the gangbangers come from single mothers households. The fathers in the household give the children a balance of masculinity and femininity. Boys normally prefer their mothers. Girls prefer their fathers. Mama's boy, daddy's girl. They need a balance. And when you take the father out of the home, you are doing your children a disservice. There is a universal balance. You are unbalancing and biasing your children toward their father. And 98, 99% of the time, the father wants to be in their children's lives. We want to be in our children's lives. But then you add child support, and the father can barely survive. Moms, we are holding you responsible for our children because now we see you have done so wrong when it comes to our children and the raising of our children and the way you raised our children. You have gotten away from traditional values of means and you are raising your children to be just like you. And as we can see from society, it is an evil thing and it is a disservice. However, no one has held you accountable. I am. You've ruined your children for life. The children grow up in the end when they 18, 19 years old, they end up hating the father and they end up hating you. They hate the father because he wasn't there. You haven't told the kid the truth. And they hate you because when they finally find out the truth, they're now in college or graduated, going to the military, or got a felony in high school and all they can do is work or find a medial job. And the sad part about it is that it is majority in what is called the black community. One second. Okay. It is in the majority of what we call the black community. I've talked to thousands of different men. All the men can't be lying. These men tell these heartbreaking stories. I want to be in my child's life. Haven't you seen the YouTube videos? Then the men pay child support and the woman uses the money for nefarious reasons. And then you go to church and ask yourself a question. Look back over your life and the way you've raised your children. If you were God, would you let you go to heaven? Hell no. So once again, you accept no accountability and you accept no responsibility, and the only thing you said is, I did the best I could. No, you did not. I'm going to say it again. My son is 20 years old and I had to kick my son out of my house because of lying, because of disrespect. His mother passed away. So yes, there is some understanding that I had to do, but some things as a 20-year-old man, he should know. So I'm going back through trying to teach a 20-year-old man who thinks he's grown. And I said, where did you learn these things from? Well, my mama. We have some very serious issues in the black community. One of the most serious issues is how our children are raised. Are they raised in a home with love? Our young girls, black women, are you raising our young girls to be wives? Are you raising them to be survivors? Because I see a lot of women who don't know how to be wives. Let's go before that. Are you teaching them how to be feminine? Being a woman is one thing. Being feminine is something completely different, because a lot of y'all don't even like men. A lot of y'all like women. So how are you raising your children in the natural order of things? How? Feminism, lesbianism. Don't get me wrong. And sometimes I identify as a lesbian. I do. But seriously, you are raising our children in some horrible situations. And they are growing up to be horrible people. And the only accountability you're saying is, I did the best I could. No. I know so many single moms who raised their daughters to be single. Her mama was single. Her grandmama was single. Now she's single. Her aunt ain't about nothing. Her girlfriend ain't about nothing. They all thoughts, so she a thought. Woman say niggas ain't shit. Define a nigga. They point at the black man. We're not men. We're lower. How are you raising your daughter to be an acceptable member of society if you are filling her with your anger? You're supposed to be better than that. But as we see, you are not. There are some women. I saw some videos of women who were twerking with their little girls, 6, 7, 8 years old. They on the pole and they teaching their little girls how to do. Yeah, you do this on the. You are. I had a 15-year-old girl say, Mr. D, what's going on? Mr. D, you know, I like men and women. I said, well, I like men and women too. I mean, but what do you mean? I'm sexually attracted to men and women. You 15. How do you know? Some women are 30, 40 years old, don't know what they want. How do you at 15 know? We are not giving our children chances to be children. Black women. Black women. If karma is real, you've got a lot coming to you. Our children deserve better. The men deserve better. But you did the best you could, right? And then there are men who are marrying you. What do you see in these women, man? I know a woman that calls herself a minister. I'm a woman of God. But inside, how can you preach positivity when for 16, 17, 18 years you've been nothing but vindictive? How can you teach something different from what you are? That means you're a fake. Black women, you got a lot to answer for. There are a lot of our children who are lost. Men, young men that are indecisive, who are emotional. Sisters, black women, you've got a lot to answer to. You've got a lot to answer for. But first, society has to hold you accountable. And black women, you have the most buying power in the country. You are it. That's why they keep catering to you. You got to be smarter than the system around you. I said you've got to be. You aren't yet. D-Champ, IS, intellectually stimulating black women. Karma's real. I hope you're ready.